We're recording.
Okay, yeah, just give it a second. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Adam and Chris Show, special quarantine edition. I'm St.
Yeah.
Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
And Chris, it has been, like 2 months since we recorded anything?
Yeah.
And
There's a reason for that.
luckily we had a backlog that we started putting out during, this outbreak. But now we've run out of videos, so here we are.
Yep. Your hosts with the most.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, let's talk about what has gone on since we last filmed.
Well, there's, the pandemic.
Right. The T virus
COVID.
is really big right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be more fun if it was the T virus. People would actually be excited. This is one boring pandemic apocalypse, but
It is.
if we made it just like the movies, I don't think anyone would live. I digress, though.
Yes, you do.
So there's a pandemic, a bit of a pandemic. A lot of states have had stay-at-home orders. The virus is called COVID-19, and it attacks the respiratory area. It's like the flu times 12. Some people, if they get it, it's just like a 3-day sickness. Other people, if they get it, especially people with respiratory conditions, it could potentially kill them. So that's the update on that. So the economy's not doing great because everyone's staying at home. So restaurants
I haven't really gone anywhere since this
all I do is go to work, do my moving stuff, and that I need to do, and then go home.
Like I haven't even been to the gym because of this. So, because I mean, like now, I think over the weekend the gym's opened, or maybe that's this weekend. But either way, I'm gonna let that first wave go and see what happens. I'm not, because I got people in my family that are high risk for this stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm high risk.
Immunocompromised. So I'm like, I'm not even going to try to expose myself to more people. That really sounds bad right now. But yeah, I don't want to come in contact with more people than I have to on a daily basis right now.
Yeah. I'm high risk. I have COPD.
Yeah.
So
that's why we haven't filmed, since this broke out.
Well, at my job, I believe they said something at one point that they could try to test people to see if they had it. Remember at the end of the last year, the beginning of this year, where I was sick as a dog, there could have been potential that I had it. It was like, and if that was a minor strain of it, it was fucking horrid. I mean, when I would cough and stuff, it felt like someone was punching me in the fucking stomach and like into the chest, man. It was not fun. Like freaking Tyson was. At one point, I called my mom, was about to ask her if I should go to the ER because I coughed so hard. I felt like I pulled something like a stomach muscle or, a intestine or something. I don't know. I'm not a fucking healthcare specialist. So, but yeah. And the messaging on COVID-19 has been inconsistent. Some people think it's a big deal. Yeah, some people don't. I am in the camp of let's be fucking safe because I don't want to die. We are now have people questioning healthcare professionals and doctors. I think it's a little silly to just listen to some fucking YouTubers over scientists, but I mean, we've been doing that for a while. That's just how we roll. So
yeah. No, I mean, I agree. The members of my family that are registered nurses, and thank God for them. They're on the front lines dealing with this. I will listen to them over, some conspiracy theory YouTube channel any day of the week.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. Well, me and you we are both essential. We've been working the whole time too during this because we both have day jobs. I'm not going to disclose where those are, but it's at one point you can wash your hands, wash your face, wear your mask, and this is my take coming in and out of it, and you still don't feel like you've been able to be secure.
Right.
We wipe, machines down. We're not even in a sanitized area. We wipe machines down with fucking alcohol and alcohol wipes that we're just touching, and we're in a warehouse. So you still feel like, God, I've touched something that could have got me sick. So you go home with that, thinking, being having that worried. And for some people that have kids, wives, and stuff, you worry they're going to take that home to your wife or
Right.
kid.
And I've been wearing a mask pretty much every day of the week. Plus, as you know, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on here, it's not my place to. We did have kind of a family situation
Yeah.
where my wife and I had to go out of town,
Hmm.
and just being out and about like that to just get to the place we were going, we were still wearing masks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we were also around some people that were high risk too. And again, like I said, I don't want to make anyone sick, so
Hmm.
I'll wear the mask. At this point, it's like, every day it's like a second skin at this point.
I don't. I have COPD. I don't like wearing the mask. It fucks with my breathing. Okay, I don't have great pathways for breathing. I still wear it. So, you
How
know,
long have you had that?
COPD. It's on and
Yeah.
off. Like probably like about 5-6 years, if not longer. I've been taking
Well,
Symbicort for a while.
I mean, I remember, and this is going way back. This is like 2005. We're going back 2006 when you guys played at the billiard club,
Mhm.
and you tried to do the set with the bandana over your
Oh
face. I
yeah,
thought you
yeah.
were going to die
Fucking
that
horrible.
night.
Yeah, yeah. It was horrible. I'll never do anything like that again. I was trying to copy Brujeria because I love
Yeah, well,
Brujeria.
they're the only ones that can get away with it.
Well, they also have big holes for their mouths. You just never see them in any picture because they're usually doing this because they got the mic in front of their mouth.
Right.
So, um, so let's talk about the second subject. There's going to be a big game coming out, I think next month, that
Yeah.
got leaked. Last of Us 2. I'm not going to discuss the leaks. Um, I will state that if what's in the final cut of the game is there, people are just not going to like it. I'm telling you that right now. From what I hear about the ending, um, I'm not going to spoil that. If you're curious enough to go look that up on your own, you go ahead. We'll just keep quiet about the actual content.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I have two kind of fears. First off, Neil Druckmann. If this is in there and there's such a backlash and it fails financially, Sony's been good about their first party games taking risks. I think Event Horizon was kind of a risk. Remaking Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus design is you just hunt down a group of bosses. There's nothing in between. You just go looking for these gigantic bosses and you take them down. Typically, people be like, no, no. I'm afraid that if Last of Us 2 fails and fails really hard, and I think there's people out there that are trying to inflate this controversy a bit because they want it to fail because of political views. But I think if it fails really hard, Sony's going to end up turning into Activision and do everything they can to be risk averse. You're going to have, you know, your fifth fucking Uncharted game, your sixth Uncharted game, a whole bunch of they're just going to play it safe. And I like Uncharted. I don't think it's that safe, but they're gonna do like Activision and release like 3 or 4 safe games a year if this thing fucking dies. Which will be sad because right now in the gaming spectrum, there's not a whole lot of publishers that actually take risks. EA and Activision are the two biggest publishers, and dude, you look at their year-to-year catalog, and it's boring vanilla bullshit. I mean, at most, EA had Fallen Order and Apex Legends, but they have all their fucking sports games. I won't be surprised if 3 years from now, that's all they're fucking releasing, and all Activision's releasing are fucking COD games. Even though the last COD game was actually pretty good, and I think this year's going to be pretty decent, but you know, they have so many different fucking IPs. You know, release some of that content. So I think it's going to set a bad trend if it fails.
Hmm. Well,
Real,
yeah, I enjoyed the first Last of Us. I didn't pre-order the second one, but I planned on getting it like when it
uh,
came out. And yeah, I read the spoilers, and listened to the spoilers. I probably shouldn't have, but hearing that, that would have pissed me off. I mean, the game still looks fun, and I still, I still want to play it.
Well,
But
you're
because of that, I don't know if I'll run right out, because not so much for the statement they're trying to make, but the fate of certain things
yeah.
in that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great idea executed well, but again, I get the idea of what he's going for, and Last of Us has always been a bigger picture kind of franchise. They're trying to make a statement. You can make a statement without fucking shooting yourself in the foot like that. You
Yeah.
know, we have a very great LBGTQ character in Ellie. You know, you can make statements without going, well, now I'm just going to light the whole fucking house on fire. You know, it's his
No,
thing.
it's funny because I remember when they revealed in the trailer for Last of Us 2 that Ellie was gay, and I'm like, and there were people online flipping out, and I'm like, really? Because I got that
Got that as
feeling,
soon as you see it.
playing the first one. I'm like, when there's that flashback scene, I'm like, okay,
Well, I
so like
mean, Druckmann based her off of
trailer
Ellen Page, I believe. Yeah, he based her.
they modeled her after, but they couldn't quite use her exact likeness.
Yeah. How the fucking David Cage get Ellen Page to be in Beyond Two Souls, and fucking Druckmann couldn't get her for Last of Us too, man. That's
I don't know. I still haven't played Beyond Two Souls. I have it, just haven't got around to it yet. I mean, hell, I just finished
it,
a couple months ago. I finished Heavy Rain for the first time.
you like it?
I did. The controls were a little to be desired.
Those quick time events suck ass. Oh, the
Well,
one
I
where
mean, just
you're
the way they wanted you to perform some of those controls. I mean, a game should the controls for a video game should never be a hindrance.
yeah. Well, David Cage mostly makes he's a narrative based game director. What'd you think about Press X to Jason? Jason, Press X
Yeah,
to Jason. Uh, um, I think yeah, Heavy Rain's a good game. They did another one. I forget what it was called. It was on the PS2. I might eventually end up looking for it. I might refurbish a PS2 and get that in the game. I think it's called Cold War, which is a really violent military shooter, almost like the game Black, which was fucking awesome. But I think it's Indigo Prophecy. That's the name of the game, which is it had a lot of really mature element in there.
well, let me ask you, since we're on the topic of video games, one of the games that you were just looking forward to, and then this hit, you still got it. How is Doom Eternal?
What do you think? It's good. There's no debate. Like, I was originally skeptical, and then when I heard that there'd be no microtransactions, I'm like, okay, cool. Id cucked Bethesda. Thank you, God. I got it on PS4. I didn't get it on PC. There's a controversy of it right now with PC, but I got it on PS4. It's not a walk through the park, though. I'm telling you, it is not. It is a. If you were playing Doom years ago on PC, this is your game. It's not a walk in the park, man. When you go to play it, you're gonna be like, fuck me, this is the 5th time I've died in 5 minutes. It's not simple.
The game that I was looking forward to the most for this time era, it dropped and I got it as well. It didn't quite have as big as a reception, as positive as a reception as Doom Eternal did. It was Resident Evil 3.
Mm-hmm.
I still enjoyed it, but I can understand if someone did.
Well, I think it's going to come down for Game of the Year. In my opinion, it's going to come down to Doom Eternal, probably Cyberpunk. If the new Call of Duty actually sounds pretty good, the Black Ops series by Treyarch 1 and 2 were both pretty good. The third one was and 4 was Battle Royale. But I guess this Black Ops game, they're going back during the Cold War. So the first Call of Duty Black Ops, I think, had the best campaign. It kept all kinds of twists going and all that type of stuff. So And that has a potential to fucking steal the year, but I don't think it does because everyone looks at Call of Duty like an old Arnold action movie. Oh, it's cliche. The last Modern Warfare was actually pretty good. The shooting mechanics were good. They didn't delve too hard in microtransactions and loot boxes. But I think the next one will actually have hope for it. I got to see the trailer when they release it. I'm not a big COD guy, you know me. My first person shooters are Doom, Quake, stuff like that.
Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah. uh, yeah, and Overwatch 2 might come out this year or next year. So, but uh, but because of the pandemic, there's another thing that happened. How was WrestleMania?
You know, WrestleMania was, if any of you don't know, we didn't have a chance to announce it. We wanted it to be the first live stream that we did for the channel. And well, that didn't happen. And maybe it's a good thing, maybe it isn't. WrestleMania happened in an
Yes, it
empty
did.
arena for 2
Mhm.
nights.
Yep. I don't know why Vince needed to do that. I just don't. It's weird now. I think he's questioning pushing off SummerSlam. It's like, so let me get this straight. You're going to potentially push SummerSlam off to the winter. So Winter Slam, we'll just call it that. That's the one you're okay with postponing, but you couldn't postpone WrestleMania to make it have as much bite as it should have had.
Maybe he should have renamed it Corona Slam, because Corona slammed the shit out of the ratings and the reception for WrestleMania.
There were still some decent matches.
No,
I say
there were.
the two matches to me, the three matches of the night were, of course, Owens versus Rollins was good.
That was a good match.
My girl Rhea versus Charlotte. Let me tell you, people can talk shit about Charlotte. I would book her any day of the week. You want her to go be a heel, you just go tap on her shoulder, go get heat. She does it almost as good as her dad. You tell her to go get heat, she revels in it, and it's amazing when she does it. That was one of the best matches. The outcome I didn't like so much, but now I know why it happened.
I like Becky versus Shayna, and if you go back and listen, they're working stiff. I mean, they're beating the shit out of each other, and there isn't a crowd to drown out the sound of the shots.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And, one that I think people really overlooked was that Intercontinental match with Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan.
The ladder match, John Morrison, dude. That ladder match, man. That dude, he's got it, man.
The ladder match, I had to laugh my ass off because I was never an Uso fan.
Mm-hmm.
I just never got the personality or whatever, the gimmick. But I was laughing my ass off when the Uso brothers sitting there just talking shit to Kofi the entire time.
Those when you have guys like Kofi and the Usos that have worked together, they can just play off each other like that. And then Miz, like or hate him, he's a great heat magnet. You want the crowd to get a boo. Huh? No, well, I know he wasn't. But Morrison, you add Morrison in the mix, he's fucking great.
But I mean, WrestleMania had its bad moments too. I mean, the Boneyard match was fun. I wouldn't call it a match. It's more like an action scene. Is really what it is. It's a climax for a movie that WWE Studios should make.
I thought it was okay. I think that match it gratefully benefited Taker. One of the reasons I think it gratefully benefited Taker was because any of his, issues that he has, because he's getting up there in age, he was able to fucking hide from it. They were able to play around that. So that's not something they need to do all the time. I will say this,
No, and again, I don't think it would have happened like that if it wasn't an empty arena WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I despised the Firefly Funhouse match.
I didn't even really watch it.
I remember when it was over, I look at my wife and we're both just kind of speechless. I'm like, what the hell did I just watch?
Yeah, I've already heard a lot of people that didn't like it. I like Bray. Not everything he does, I think, is going to be brilliant. I like his gimmick. I like what he's doing. Um, I think there should never be a point where Bray Wyatt is going to the ring. It should always be the Fiend. They need to
Well, but
create a monster that destroys everything. You know?
right, right. And then again, I don't even really, I don't know. Like the fact that that was approved, I'm just like, yeah. And then I really didn't care about the Goldberg Braun Strowman match.
Yeah, it's not a good match. My thing is after Goldberg got the belt from Bray, I was relieved to watch Braun destroy him. I was happy to watch Braun destroy him.
Right, but I mean, they should have given Braun the belt when it mattered. And at
They
this
don't do
point,
anything
it
with anyone
didn't
when it
really matter.
matters anymore. You know, they just fucking don't.
And then,
um,
I think the one that got hurt the most from this being an empty arena match is Drew McIntyre. He
yeah,
beats
yeah.
Brock Lesnar in convincing fashion. And that was a match that needed to end with this big crowd reaction and everything. And Drew standing victorious over Brock, holding the belt up and everything. I mean, and just in that, I don't like the way they have it lit. It's so sterile. It's so lifeless. And the performers, like you go back and watch that, or not Bray Wyatt. You go back and watch the Baron Corbin match.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing to an audience that isn't there.
Yeah.
He's like, trying to get crowd reactions, and there's no one there. It's like that's why I like the Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins match because they're playing to each other, not empty seats.
So I think I agree with you that Drew suffered from no crowd. You know who else I felt suffered? Edge.
Edge.
That match, I didn't think it was terrible, but who approved the fucking choking equipment with the weight angle? The weightlifting equipment. Who approved that? Who fucking approved
Well,
that?
all the decisions are Vince's.
So they can't mention he who shall not be named on fucking TV, but they can fucking reenact the way he took himself out. Jesus, Vince, what the fuck were you thinking? I was watching that, and as soon as I see the angle, I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. They're doing this. They're doing
Well,
this.
and I'm watching it going, at first I'm into it, but then I'm like keep checking the time, like how long is this fucking thing?
Yeah. And we don't need a second Orton and fucking Edge match. I think they're
No,
going to go get a backlash
right.
in a
So
normal match. So typically what you do is you start with a normal match and then you go to the more weird matches and all that type of
the
stuff. There's your
gimmick
blow off.
match.
Yeah. You don't go in reverse. And then that's what they just did. Is
Yeah.
it went reverse. I love Edge. Edge coming back, it's great, and it's the swan song of the year. They could have done a lot better by him, and again, putting that whole fucking weightlifting equipment shit in the angle that takes away from Edge's win. It could have just been him kick the shit out of Orton for at least 15 minutes. But no, Orton has to fucking try to choke him with weightlifting equipment. Come on. And I when they went in there, I'm like, they're not going to do that. They're not. They are. They are.
Well,
And they're sitting on it for a while.
it was nice of them to give us a tour of the performance center, room by room.
Yeah, room by murder equipment.
Right. Now, speaking of WWE, what do you think about WWE in the state of Florida being declared an essential service?
Stupid. Fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. That's what happens when business and politicians get too close together. That's what that is. I still will say when Trump was putting people from his administration in the spots that they were, when you say small business and Linda McMahon, there's a lot of small businesses that her husband gobbled up, the territories. But
yeah,
when you're sitting there like it's Linda McMahon, it's like, okay, she's the sane McMahon. And then something like that, you're like, well, it's not like Ben Carson leading the HUD, So it was the better of the ones, but still, that fucking shit's stupid. Some palms must have been
speaking of
greased.
shit that's stupid, during this quarantine, Puddle of Mud decided to give us an entertaining video for all the wrong
I
reasons.
think that was from years ago, a few years ago. It just now popped. I don't know, but it still sucked. Well, they always sucked.
Well,
They
yeah,
always fucking sucked. It just proved that they did. All these fucking new metal bands that have their fucking quick 15 minutes of fucking fame, when they fucking go on the downward trajectory, they hit down hard. It's fucking hilarious.
were Puddle of Mud new metal? I mean, I thought they were
They,
like
they're lumped in
just
there.
radio rock
They're
that
shit.
wanted to be Nirvana.
They're shit. What it was, they're lumped into that because I think Fred Durst knew him so well or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
because that did them a lot of favors.
yeah, yeah. That cover was horrible. Who fucking okayed that? Oh wow. And it's so bad because Wes Scantlin is fucking sitting there thinking he's just like he thinks he's fucking breathing in Cobain. He's taking him in. He's Cobain's playing through him. Oh man, it's just so bad. It was fucking horrible. But what's the best part about it is all the mock videos coming out of it. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's like, you gotta watch this. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like Puddle of Mud. Never liked Puddle of Mud because they, they're to me their music seemed hollow.
Well, it's corporate Nirvana.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's
Well,
Nickelback meets Nirvana.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it. Nirvana, this guy's probably a fan of Nirvana. It probably means a lot to him. And I start listening to it. I'm like, this is without a doubt one of the worst things I have ever heard.
There's some things I can point out that were just as bad, like 6 Feet
Well,
Under's cover of "Shook Me All Night Long." That was horrible.
that didn't need to happen.
But you know what's sad when 6 Feet Under covered a fucking Slayer song and it still sounded like shit.
Yeah.
You're a death metal band. You should be able to do that fucking correct. You know, you remember that you used to have that the Master of Puppets tribute album, right? With all those metal bands.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have it.
Yeah, all those guys did a Master of Puppets did a Metallica song from their more thrashy years, right? Why couldn't
Yeah.
fucking 6 Feet Under do a fucking Slayer song, right? That was fucking. Chris Barnes has been phoning it in for like 3 or 4, like the last 10 years. Yep, I'm live. I'm gonna go. Have you ever seen them live?
No.
Make sure you fucking drink a lot of coffee because it'd be like taking a Xanax. You're gonna be like, oh.
I mean, I just never really got into 6 Feet Under. I was always a bigger Cannibal Corpse fan. So I'm like, maybe I can give them that first album. And their cover of Hell's Bells seems appropriate, but that's about it.
Well, they did I think 2 or 3 of those fucking cover albums, Graveyard Classic
Yeah.
cover albums. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
listen to a fucking death metal band cover classic rock. It sounds like shit. It sounds like ass. You're covering the wrong fucking shit. Be like having a fucking black metal band fucking cover, Miley Cyrus or some shit like that. You're making fun of the fucking. I don't want to say you're making fun of. It's just that music was not written to be done that way. There's an old saying that George Carlin said about the blues. It's not that you need to know how to do it. You know how to play the notes. It's you need to know why the notes are there, why that's there. And with 6 Feet Under, I'll say this. I like their first 3 albums up to Maximum Violence. At one point, they had Alan West. I don't know if he left during Maximum Violence, but he was an old guitar player of Obituary. And those were good. I think they're good because of it. And Barnes is just like, okay, I'm going to be lazy. Hey, there's a chubby kid over there. You want to play guitar for me? I'm Chris Barnes. Okay, cool. Now I get paid all the money goes to me. I'm going to pay you like $25,000 a year, probably something like that, So, oh yeah, streaming movies. Streaming movies are now big now.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. We haven't checked any out because I really don't want to pay $20 to stream a movie in my own home.
I wouldn't.
Now, I mean, there's a couple movies I want to check out. I mean, that new Scooby movie dropped, and the wife and I are such big Scooby Doo fans. I want to check that out. But
hey, what
again,
about that? What do you think about that Velma got masturbated shirt?
Yeah, you know what I think about it because I posted that on Facebook.
Oh, I'm going to own that fucker. I'm going to own that shirt.
Well, I mean, it's from Wish, so it's probably going to be about like that big.
Hey, I can always cut the picture of her getting caught. and put it on I put it on the back patch of a jean jacket or a hoodie.
Was there really a demand for that shirt?
Yes. Have you ever seen Velma cosplay?
Well, yeah.
Okay, there's a demand for it, man.
Yeah, there's a demand for like actual women, not like again, no way nobody was demanding a t-shirt with a picture of Velma looking at porn.
I was. I didn't know I
No, you
wanted it
weren't.
until I saw
Well,
it.
God help you.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it. Uh,
Um, no, you can leave it to Wish to have some goofy shit on there.
yeah, yeah. What came out streaming? I haven't watched a lot of the streaming movies. I finally watched Bad Boys 3. That movie does everything cliche, dumb, and things that I wouldn't like, but it does it so well, and I love that fucking movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've been wanting to check it out.
there's a little bit of a twist ending
Hmm.
that you can almost I wouldn't say you can see it coming, but when it happens, you're like, really, they're gonna do that? Okay, they did it okay. Um, Smith and Martin Lawrence aren't as quick with the wit as they used to, but it still works, man. It's still there, you know. Vanessa Hutchins is in that; she's sexy. Um, it was pretty good. The action sequences were pretty good. Michael Bay makes a brief cameo, so
Oh, he was in the first one or the second one.
now he was in this
Saw
one too.
himself.
Oh,
Saw
you know
himself.
who else? You know who else comes back in the third one? You remember Reggie from the
Yeah.
second one? Yeah, he makes appearance in it, and that's still a tall motherfucker. That scene was great. That scene was
Well,
great.
we've also had some sadness going on because two celebrities recently passed away. Two celebrities that we actually liked.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not going to be like anyone dying is pretty much sad because they had people that loved them. But when Fred Willard passed away,
Yeah, that's sad. That was sad.
yeah, and I mean that guy was consistently funny in things that I was watching him in.
Oh yeah, he was brilliant. His
He always seemed like a really chill guy. Like he's one of those guys like you went to like Comic-Con and he was there, like he was approachable, you know?
there's some people that get a spot in the movie business, like Arlie Emery or Ermy.
Yeah,
He was really a drill sergeant beforehand,
yeah.
and then he got acting roles and all that type of stuff, and he was basically being Arlie Ermy from Full Metal Jacket and everything else, and doing a damn good job. I would have hired him, but I think there's a point where people are like, he'd be funny in this point. Call him now, and they did it with Fred. He was fucking hilarious. And then we had the other passing of Shad from the
Shad
WWE.
Catswater,
Yeah,
Big Shad.
um, Big Shad. That was a huge guy, really tall dude. It's sad how he went, but he died heroically.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone doesn't know, him and his son got caught in a riptide, and when the rescue boats are out there to rescue them, he insisted they save his son first.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that did the interview said, you know, I got his son on the boat. I turn around just in time to see this giant wave come down on him, and then he disappeared. And you know, he was missing for 3 days. And they found his body, um, you know, Tuesday. I believe it was Tuesday, washed up, and it's sad. But I mean, the guy went out a hero, and you have
Yeah,
to respect that.
yeah. Well, it's a glimmer of hope with an industry that have had so many people in it that are notorious for doing fucking shitty things. You
Right.
know,
So, you know, what I say is to Shad and Fred, here's to you.
and,
Look at
all
me, the
right.
big drinker. I'm drinking water.
Yeah, I had Mellow Yellow in there. All right. So with the other part, uh, with COVID-19, we don't believe what doctors say anymore. Medical professionals.
That seems to be on my social media news feeds.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people think that doctors and nurses are not to be trusted, but the tinfoil hat brigade is.
I don't think it's a lot of people. I think it's just a vocal small group. I know conservative people. They're like that still believe this is something not to fuck with. You know.
Notice I didn't even mention a political party, and you just went there.
Well, I mean, it's getting presented as the people showing up at rallies and protests. They're holding Trump signs. So, and I don't think it's all of them. I think the way this stuff's going is going to get a lot of the more on the fence people to get off the fence and not really support them anymore. So, um, we're at how many people have died? 90,000 plus.
I don't know. I haven't checked the numbers here recently because I just it gets overwhelming. Sometimes you just need a break from that. You
Yeah.
need something that'll put a smile on your face. Not that that isn't important.
What
But
puts you?
I was like, I just need to walk away for a couple days and clear my head.
What will put a smile on your face? Thelma getting caught masturbating.
I'm not ordering that shirt, and neither should you.
I will. I'll own that motherfucker. Um,
Where could you possibly wear that aside from here?
Cot, Comic Cons, the bars, clubs. If I start playing again,
The bars, the clubs. Yeah, I can see people coming up like, I wasn't going to talk to you, but until I saw that shirt, I
I don't
figured
give a shit if they talk
you
to me.
must be.
You know, it's one of those things, man. It's something everyone wanted, but you didn't know you wanted until you saw it.
You're one of two people that actually are interested in that shirt. Everyone else is just laughing their ass off that someone took the time and money to make that thing.
And God bless them for it.
What do I need that shirt for? I married the real life Velma.
There you go.
Right.
Um,
I had a segue and you kind of just threw me off on that.
that I did.
So Ruby Rose has left the show Batwoman.
I haven't watched any of it.
I watched
I like
it.
Ruby Rose.
I like Ruby Rose. I thought she made for with what they're going with, that the vibe of the show, because as you know, the CW DC shows do their own thing. Like, I liked Arrow, but let's face it, they weren't writing Green Arrow, they wanted to write Batman.
Yeah, that was my problem with that show. The Flash
I
is
mean,
fucking
I
great.
still enjoyed it. I like Flash. Legends of Tomorrow is fun, especially with Constantine on there.
I like Legends.
Supergirl. I mean, reading all the Superman comics growing up, and then I'm like, I know that character, I know that character, I know that character. But yeah, Batwoman, I the show, whenever a show's in its first season, you got to give it a little bit of a learning curve because they're still trying to figure out the characters and how they want to do. The writing needs a chance to really come together. That being said, I would sit and watch it. It wasn't my favorite CW show, but I didn't hate it. And she quit the role here recently. No one knows why. A lot of people think that it's because of Twitter backlash that she was getting from, and it amazes me, both sides of the aisle. You had people like your favorite, the Quartering, that just
Oh yeah.
did not like her. And but on the other side, you had people, because as we know, Kate Kane is a lesbian, right?
Yeah.
They said Ruby Rose wasn't gay enough to play her. Ruby Rose is in a relationship, or I don't know if she's still with the same woman, but she was dating women. She just identified as non-binary, and some of the Twitter crowd said she's not gay enough.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Just here's my thing. The character was originally in the comic books a lesbian. She was. Mm-hmm. So we can't really sit there and go, oh, they're forcing this agenda down our throat, whatever.
Yeah, there were people that were saying that, and I'm like, I can tell you've not read any of the comics because this is that character.
Well, here's the thing that we need to do. Get the best people for the fucking role, okay? We don't need to, if race is a key in race, gender, all those things are key in the story. Like if Django Unchained, you had a white guy playing Django, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It would be bad. But like if that element's not a part of the story, give it to. I still want to see. I'm cool with seeing Idris Elba playing Bond. I think if there was to do a gender or a race swap with a big mainstream character, I think everyone would be like, well, Idris Elba being Bond, that motherfucker's slick. And when you say his name, you got to go get a mop around a bunch of women because they get moist.
Nice, Chris.
Moist. But
Um, but I mean, there's a big difference between Ruby Rose playing Batwoman and Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's. There's
well,
a big difference.
at one point, you got to sell. Ruby Rose has been in a lot of action films.
Hmm.
She can sell like she can fucking fight. Okay. That is something that a producer's got to put key in. You can't fucking sit there. You could maybe get if you had a heavier lesbian, whatever, someone like Nia Jax. She's got an intimidating frame. She looks mean or something. But you can't have Melissa McCarthy playing or someone like that playing Ruby Rose and people go, oh, she can fight off 9 guys at once. You know, it's like an intimidation level. You got it. That's the first thing that you got. If you look at her, can she fight two or three dudes? Bale looked like he can take like 3 or 4 people on. That's a thing that they have to put in consideration. And movie studios don't give a fuck about what a bunch of fucking political hacktivists scream out on Twitter. At one point, it's ticket sales that matter, and you're probably not going to go pay to see the fucking movie anyways or watch the TV show. You know,
Well, but
um,
so yeah, she quit. That could be one reason. She's not actually come out and said why she quit. I know she was facing a lot of internet bullying. I hate to call it that because like it sounds like it sounds childish, and it is childish to sit there and be like, I don't like your show, so I'm going to you know bomb your. I probably shouldn't say that. I'm going to flood your social media with just hateful words and stuff. I'm like, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. And trust me, that show's not for everyone. I would have liked to see how the writing would have progressed because I think all those shows struggled in their first season.
I liked Black Lightning quite a bit, and it had a very big social justicey narrative, but it dealt with people that deal with things that that narrative would have to discuss. And I think Tobias Wells is a great fucking villain. He was awesome. And I love the idea. We talk about um, when it comes to diversity, the lack of diversity in entertainment. When we talk about race and sexual orientation, we don't ever really discuss age. With Black Lightning, you had a fucking man who's in his 50s. You don't fucking have comic book characters that are grown men in their fucking 50s. That
Well, you
they
do, but
love.
those comic books are usually Doctor Who.
Yeah. Or if it's the other comics, like Bruce Wayne's been 30 for what? How long? 70 fucking years, with the exception of Dark Knight Returns? You know, fucking at least fucking Kent has an excuse. But every other fucking superhero constantly being in fucking the fucking 30s, come on, people. Let them age, man. Let them be mature. Let them have
They
to.
they
It was
aged some. I remember in the early '90s they did. That's when they started giving Hal Jordan the gray in his temples
yeah, do it.
because they were trying to age him. The problem is you had Hal aging and no one else around him was.
Yeah, yeah. Like the thing I say about Black Lightning, one of the things is being a family man and going out there and doing that shit. Having a family and going out battling crime and all that type of stuff. It's a hard, and then your secret life. It's a hard balance as opposed to being a bachelor that gets to bang all kinds of hot chicks and all that type of stuff. So, um, I think we should, all creative entities should just create and not try to fucking please people on social media. And let the fucking, let the things come in place. I think we're coming to a point where this kind of cancel culture is cannibalizing some of the stuff we like because we weren't having these types of discussion 5 or 6 years ago. I know that we weren't saying there's not enough gay people, not enough this group of people, and we
I
were
I don't know. with the gay characters, I remember hearing that from the '90s, where and it was a legitimate point. Like, if you think of the '90s, they could not write a gay character without them being a stereotype.
Yeah, but but without those people, we evolved. We got,
Yeah.
more gay characters, you know, going from the '90s to the 2000s and tens, up to the 2010s. It wasn't a whole, ass load of them, but when they showed up, you took notice of that. Hey, that's a character that, you know, that's who they are. And it wasn't something that it was the only thing that they're known for. One of my favorite comic book heroes is Midnighter is gay. He acts more like the fucking Punisher. You'd never have this belief about that, but yeah, he's one of my favorite fucking DC characters.
Well, Ruby Rose might not have left the. I want to put this out because I feel it'd be dishonest if I didn't. She might not have left because of that. I know she got injured on the set. It's a very physical role,
Yeah.
and she got injured. She had to have surgery to fix two herniated discs in her back. So it could be that. It could be the schedule. It could be the fact that COVID has shut down production on a lot of these shows. It could be a lot of
Well,
different things. But I
if
don't
you're
want to rule out that, yeah, she was getting a lot of shit on social media.
Yeah, people need to chill it out. I wasn't really jumping for joy when Will Smith was cast as Deadshot, not because of the race change, but Deadshot is a hitman who's not really likable. Okay, he's your old school capitalist opportunist for the sake of opportunity. He's not really. If you read him in Secret Six, he's there to shoot somebody and cash his paycheck, and he's good at doing those things. So, and then he'll maybe hang with Catman and get some drinks and go, bang some chicks. But Will Smith is a very upbeat actor. It kind of worked for Deadshot and Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad it had things going wrong with it. Will Smith was not the fucking problem with that movie. So.
No, here's the thing. Will Smith, you know, one thing I think you consistently say about him across the board is he's always a charming actor.
Yes.
So he made Deadshot more charming than he actually is.
Yeah, he did, and that worked for that movie. What was I getting at?
I don't know. You threw Deadshot in there, and then you just kind of ran with it.
Yeah. I think we need to quit cancel with like this element of cancel culture. We need to quit cannibalizing, letting the mobs cannibalize platforms and artistic expression that we all like, because you're going to turn it into something that ain't going to make money anymore. At the best, that is the best case scenario. I don't think the artists or publishers, movie studios, game studios, or musicians should be going, geez, I wonder what Twitter's going to think if we put this in here. I think we need to quit doing that shit. And I think most of those people, I think, are trying to become political activists to make money. They're trying to become pundits, stuff like that. And they go, they've read clickbait. I mean, over the last 3-4 years, like right as Gamergate came out, some of those articles, like the one about Spider-Man being a pro cop game, if you played to about the 90% point, at one point Spider-Man's going around, the private security firm had taken over New York. Spoiler alert. And they're doing all kinds of crooked things, and Spider-Man's fighting them. It's like, if you would have fucking played this to that point, you couldn't say this is a pro crackdown authoritarian game. You just fucking couldn't. So quit trying to write articles like that, because it's going to fucking hurt that business. It's like I said about the old adage of comedians. You don't really go after another comedian's fucking routine and say it's racist, sexist, and stuff like that, because you create this era where censorship becomes, people either self-censor. We as a viewer know there's a difference between Kramer going up on stage and doing that racist fucking tirade that he's gone on, and then seeing Chris Rock comedy, or some other comedians that have, Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle, that are edgy or whatnot. We know that what he did was bigoted at that time. We as the viewers know that, that was in there. So we don't need to have a bunch of people that fucking toss a bunch of bullshit fucking articles around on Twitter around to dictate, And this shit's, again, a lot of this I think contributed to Trump getting elected as president. Yeah. Don't know. We don't know what's in the future. I mean,
you don't know what's in the future, but yeah.
I mean, he did everything. He did everything in the you take the textbook of the political textbook, everything you should not do. He started on page 1 and he kept doing them all the way to the end of the page and he got elected. So, but a lot of that type of stuff, he was able to sit there and point, go like, political correctness is out of control. And then normal people are like, yeah, this shit's a little goofy. You guys need to fucking quit it, But I could just be rambling.
So a couple other things that we didn't touch upon in this. Australia was burning.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at a forecast of murder hornets.
I mean, that's shit. I'm not surprised at anything now. I'm just truly not. I'm not. A fucking spaceship can hover over DC all Independence Day like. I'm like, oh, it's Friday. I'm just fucking not.
I think the only turn would be if the sting from a murder hornet turned you into a zombie. I think that'd be the only thing that could catch me off guard at this point.
I mean, a lot of that could be coming from the deterioration of the environment. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I can't fucking tell you why all this shit's going on. I can tell you though, that I know there's a lot of distrust towards at least pharma because the last, I think, 5-10 years, the prices of pharmaceuticals have gotten out of control. Well, let's face the fucking facts. It's crazy. And everyone has a valid complaint about that. A drug that used to be $30 now turning to $400. Come on, people. They have a right to, but that doesn't mean that COVID's not real. The doctor prescribes the drugs. They don't make them. They don't price them, so they're not the ones that get mad about, and I do think there's an element of people that want to get back to work, being cramped up and locked up in your house for a couple. I believe, right, one of the things that they brought up with this is there's certain areas, I think it was the UK, that domestic violence went up. Divorces have gone up. There's been, I guess, more people, marriages ending while this is going on. So it's not been a pretty 3 months. I will fucking stake that. And I'm not really excited to see what the rest of 2020 has in store for us.
Remember when you and I were optimistic about 2020? We're like, it's a new year, new possibilities.
Was I optimistic about 2020 at all?
As much as optimistic as you're capable of being.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't expect pandemic and fucking shutdown. So, I mean, there's a M. Night Shyamalan-like twist.
And it sucks just as much.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, for people who don't know, for the channel, we had a bunch of stuff planned for 2020, and now we've had to change our plans. Like a lot of people, we had to adapt with this. Because one of the things we wanted to do is film live from Pride. Pride got moved to October, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. We were invited to film and interview people at Korg's. Korg's got canceled, and Korg's is a Central Ohio retro game show. So yeah, that got canceled. Comic-Con, I think, has gotten canceled. So we had got a lot of stuff to go to these places and meet people and interview people and stuff, and it's not going to happen right now. I'd still like it to happen. It's just, what can you do? You just got to roll with the punches. So
I believe Maryland Death Fest got canceled too.
Yeah. I mean,
that was this weekend.
With everything going on right now, that name alone couldn't have been marketed that well.
Oh, no Karens are going to Maryland Death Fest. Come on. Most people from you get like maybe I don't know 15,000 people from the states, and then you get tons of people from other foreign countries.
Chris, now you can't say Karens. Remember that article? That
Oh,
woman
that
named
bitch can
Karen
go
got
fucking.
upset about Karens.
Oh, she could go eat a big fucking cake with fucking razors in it. Fuck her. I don't give a shit. If it walks like a duck, acts like a cunt, it's a duck and a cunt. Come on. I'm fucking sorry. Quit complaining. Tell all the rest of your Karen friends to shut the fuck up and let everyone's lives move on. I can make fun of Karens all day. I tell you.
Yeah, I know. But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, so we do have some more stuff planned for the channel. It's just going to take a little while more to get that stuff planned out because, like I said, this has sidelined everything. I'm not going to complain too much because, at least I have my health. At least I have a roof over my head. I know a lot of people who aren't that lucky, and
yeah.
they're the ones that I think have a right to just sit there and go, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah. Yeah. They have a right to be pissed. And I don't agree 100% with the whole let's reopen quick as possible, but I can see why some of these people really want it. They want to go back to work and supporting their families. Did you ever see the video of the guy from New York? I think his name was Vic, screaming at the government about how they've mishandled this whole fucking thing.
No, I didn't see that.
Watch it. A lot of people are reposting it. Left wing and right wing are all reposting the shit out of it. He basically goes on about how just a $1,200 stimulus ain't going to fix the fucking problem, and that making it so as soon as people get back to work, that their rent is going to be 2 or 3 months worth of rent or whatever instead of 1 month. Oh, he goes on a tirade. The poor guy, when he's yelling and screaming, I just feel bad because I feel he's about to have a fucking heart attack or something. It's like he's so pissed, and rightfully fucking so. Rightfully fucking so. He's so pissed. It's just like, I don't, please don't let this kill this guy. This guy's awesome. I suggest you look for the video. It's a pretty good video.
Right. Well, I guess that's really all we have to talk about this time. We're probably going to stick to this Zoom format for a little bit till it's safe to film, together again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything you wanted to add? Anything you wanted to recommend?
Doom Eternal's fucking great. That's great. Good game.
For your quarantine blues.
Yeah. Go out and get that, but I'm telling you, it's not a walk in the park.
All right. Well, all I'm going to say to everyone is, take care and be safe. Be safe in this. Well, from the Adam and Chris show, I'm St. Adam.
Chris Malice.
We'll see you guys later.
Later. Let me turn off the recording. Let me turn off the recording.